The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and your joy might be complete. This is my commandment. Love one another as I love you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends, because I have told you everything I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you, and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. This I command you, love one another." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord.
One of the books that I really like, in fact, I must have read it over 7 or 8 times. First time I read it was in 1986, I still remember. The title of the book is Man's Search for Meaning, and the author is Viktor Frankl. To make the long story short, Frankl was a psychiatrist, and it was 1939. He's Austrian by birth, and Austria was annexed by Hitler, and since he was Jewish, he, together with his whole family, was sent into into the concentration camps. Miraculously, he survived, and after that, after a year of being free, he decided to write notes about his experiences in the camps, and also, since he's a psychiatrist, he made a school of thought called logotherapy. And so he shared that with his friends, and his friends told him, "Victor, you must have this published." In 1948, it was published, and now the rest is history. I think over 48 million copies of this book have been sold all over the world. Now, early in the 60s, he came to America and came to New York, and he was met by a group of reporters at the airport, and one of the reporters asked him, "Victor, since you're rich and famous, you must be very happy. Can you please tell us, what is your secret of happiness? What are the steps that we have to take to be happy?" And I really love the answer of Victor, full of wisdom. He said, "You should not seek for happiness, because the more you seek it, the more elusive it becomes. Happiness is a byproduct of one's ability to go out of himself in order to serve others. Happiness is an end result, is a byproduct of one's ability to go out of himself or herself to serve others." Today's gospel is taken from John 15, 9 to 17. Unlike the other gospels, John does not record the breaking of the bread at the Last Supper. However, today's gospel in chapter 15 is part of Jesus' long speech during the Last Supper. In fact, it's comparatively long. It's longer, or maybe more or less can be compared its length to the teaching of Jesus on the Mount, on the Beatitudes. So let me reflect with you some salient points in our gospel today. First of all, Jesus says, "It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you." It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you. In other part of the scriptures, it says, it is not that we love God, but it was God who loved us first. So, if we analyze this deeply and meditate on this passage of the scriptures, we would truly, hopefully with the Holy Spirit, unlock the secret to the wisdom of the speech of Jesus given on the night before he died at the Last Supper. It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you. In this day and age, we could easily, if you go to the bookstore, there are always books on how to lose weight, or how to, or even on how to find meaning in your life, or how to gain friendship, how to become popular, how to be successful in your business, etc., etc. And even there are some tips on how to improve your spirituality. So if you do this in 7 days, or in 2 weeks, or in 3 months, you will be holy. However, this part of the gospel in John, it is not you who chose me, but I who chose you. It reminds us that at the end of the day, yes, we have our plans, yes, we have our steps to take to improve ourselves, but ultimately at the end of the day, we have to remember that no matter how we try to improve ourselves spiritually, without God's grace, we cannot make it. Without God's grace, we cannot make it. So the point I want to make is that we have to surrender. So instead of, because if we truly surrender ourselves and allow God to find us, to discover us, and because He's hunting us down so that we would allow Him to find us, then the key word there is surrender. And if we surrender ourselves totally to Him, then our life will no longer be called my personal life journey towards sanctity, towards salvation, but it becomes more exciting because it would be transformed as the divine adventure in my life. Divine adventure in my life. So the basic example of this is when Jesus addressed Peter after the resurrection. He says to Peter, "When you were young, Peter, you tied your belt and went to the places where you wanted to go. But you will get old, somebody will tie you up, and you will go to those places that you do not wish to go." And of course, this would refer to his going to Peter's going to Italy, to Rome, where he died. So the point is, if we truly take the words of Jesus literally here in today's gospel, it was not you who chose me, but I who chose you, then the element of surrender, then we would be embarking on a new adventure in our lives. It's going to be a divine adventure in our lives. And I think that's one of the reasons why the most successful non-Hollywood series of all times, The Chosen, has touched over 168 million people all over the world. because especially for those of you who have seen it, it's not just about Jesus, but about the 12 apostles, Mary Magdalene, and those people that were chosen by Jesus out of thousands, out of hundreds, and how they felt being loved by Jesus unconditionally. So that's the first point, that the element of surrender, so that we could embark on a new journey, and we could rename this journey as the divine adventure in my life. And the end result of this is that we have to realize, again, Jesus says, and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain. So whenever we feel that we're being called by God, there is always a missionary aspect of this calling. So God has called me to embark in this new adventure, but it's not just me and him, but I'm called to do mission. That's why in the gospel, in the whole of scriptures, for example, I will just mention two particular persons. Saint Paul, his name was Saul, now it was changed into Paul, because of the calling of Jesus, of Saul, he was called to a new mission, which was to be the apostle to the Gentiles. Example, Simon, his name was changed into Peter, because Jesus chose him to be the first pope, to be the first leader of this church that he had founded. So we too should not forget that our calling has its missionary aspect. And what is our mission? And that is to bring love wherever we are, in thoughts, in our words, but most especially in our actions. That's why Jesus said before he ascended into heaven, "They will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." So in other words, Jesus's DNA should be found in our souls, and in whatever we do every day, the simple acts of love that we do it out of love for Jesus. Just to give you an example, I'm now on military duty since yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yesterday I did unit engagement, so I was talking with 6 airmen. So what is your name again? So I noticed that, your name sounds Italian. Are you Catholic? Yes, Father. And then, your name sounds Irish. Are you Catholic? Yes, of course. So out of 6, there was only 1 non-Catholic. But I said, no, I don't discriminate. In fact, after this, I want to talk with you. So I just, a simple act of, because he felt, okay, I'm an outsider here. 5 are Catholic, I'm not Catholic, so no. In fact, after talking with the rest, I talked to them, and I realized that he lives in Farmingville. They said, I go there all the time because there's a Filipino store there, Kabaya. And I said, that's only a stone's throw away from my house. I've never been there. And so that was the connection. So in whatever we do, even the simple act of talking with a friend or with a colleague, we do it out of love. And the result is this: I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and your joy might be complete. So Viktor Frankl is truly hit the bullseye, because Jesus said, if you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love. And I'm telling you this so that my joy may be in you and your joy might be complete. So in other words, the secret to happiness, true joy that the world could not give, is in our ability to go out of ourselves to serve others by loving them concretely as they are at the present moment. And we do it like a gymnastics of love. Later on we realize that it would become part of our DNA, it would become a habit. And the most important thing is always to purify our intention, and we do every single act of love every day, wherever we're in the grocery store, in your office, at home, or be in 106 Rescue Wing for my drill this month. We should truly try to put the gospel of love into practice, because it is the only way to happiness. Again, I would like to quote the very statement of Viktor Frankl, which is full of wisdom. We should not seek happiness, because the more we seek it, the more elusive it becomes. Happiness is the end result of one's ability to go out of himself and be of service to others, as Jesus has demonstrated. With full humility, we ask the Blessed Virgin Mary the grace that we would be able to inculcate these thoughts that we're meditating today and put them into practice for the greater glory of Christ, her Son, and his church, the Catholic Church. All together. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Let us now renew our